there. Welcome to another ThreeZero review and taking a look at a big beefy robot today. It is ThreeZero's IronMan HULKBUSTER DLX from the Infinity Saga. And I think our dearly departed friend Norm Macdonald said it best.
Holy Lord.
Yeah, when I picked this thing up, I thought this thing is as heavy as Fortress Maximus, and I actually wasn't too far off. Got the Pampered Chef scale right here, and when you put them on there, good God, that's heavy. That comes in at over 6 pounds. Fort Max is 8, so I was close. This thing is really, really heavy, and it is available at Big Bad Toy Store. There's a couple of different HULKBUSTER options at Big Bad Toy Store. Now, Hot Toys did a 12-inch HULKBUSTER, and that thing is insanely expensive. And I noticed on Big Bad Toy Store, they've got a Hot Toys upgrade thing. It's like an arm, just an arm for your HULKBUSTER for the same price as this whole thing. So ThreeZero really seems like a company that gives you a lot of bang for your buck. And I don't know if you can see me waving in there. But just like the Optimus Prime that I recently did from ThreeZero, even though it's a different scale than Hot Toys, it harkens back to a lot of Hot Toys' presentation. Really beautiful box with a window there, nice gold accents, nice artwork on the back. This right here is magnetic, little door that closes, actually catches. That's something that the higher end 12-inch figures use. So even though it's a smaller figure, it's not a smaller figure. It's a smaller figure scale, but it's a ginormous figure. My God, I think it's just about 12 inches, 11 something inches. And I have a couple of other Marvel figures. These are Marvel Select figures in the back here. So we'll see how they scale up. Should be pretty close. And I do actually have a couple of official Marvel Legends too. There's Wolverine, and I don't know what Sleepwalker would look like inside this thing, but I'll be able to do a couple of comparisons to see what this is compatible with. Packaging is absolutely top notch. Comes in this ginormous clamshell. The figure itself is sealed up in a plastic bag in order to guard from any scuffing. Holy Lord, this thing is freaking heavy. Really heavy. I wish you could smell what I smell. This is, you know, that new toy smell? It is really, really powerful. Not unpleasant, but really strong. I think it's one of the strongest new toy smells I've ever smelled on any figure. It's a nice little bonus. These little styrofoam deals were tucked in here and also in the shoulders as well to protect against paint scrapes. It's gonna happen. It's just, especially with metallic paint jobs like that. But what I really appreciate is the effort taken to try to get it to you in perfect or as close to perfect condition as possible. It's usually a good sign when extra care is taken into packaging. Usually means that the quality overall is going to be a good one. Nice big instruction booklet, even describing that's a fist, that's a relaxed hand, that's a shooting hand, and articulation tutorial just to let you know how much you can get away with here, things not to do, to watch out for. Little hidden gimmicks. You can use the IronMan 43, Mark 43 stand if you want in here. I can't get over how heavy he still is. Some of the weight was in the packaging, but 4 pounds, 47 ounces. He definitely feels it. He's extremely hefty, dense, very, very dense. And through the magic of video editing, I've installed the batteries. These little guys can go for quite a bit, but if you're in Canada like me, and you've got a place called Princess Auto, I never imagined that a place like Princess Auto could have all the stuff they have, but they've got everything from soup to nuts there, and they've got these, or at least last time I was in there, these giant packs of little like watch battery types of things. This guy takes the LR621. That's the one that fits. I don't know if that's the one that's meant for it, but it works. Pop them all in, installed them. Just a regular old big Phillips screwdriver will do you. You don't need a little mini one like the ones for the G.I. Joes. Pop in 3 in the back here, press that button in, and those lights will look a lot more spectacular once I turn off all the lights. But that'll light them up in the back. And in order to hide this screw and button, you get this little back piece, which can just clip into place. And unfortunately, it doesn't, the light gimmick doesn't work with this in place. You actually have to remove it in order to switch the lights off. Get lights on the sides there too. Would have been nice if there was something in here that actually pushed through to the button in behind. And I'm sure that decision was made in order to hide any, I guess, toy-like buttons. I've seen that on some third-party Transformers as well, where they have tried to hide the buttons as much as possible. He's got some more lights in the front. The head is kind of scary to take off because it's attached with this ball joint up here. So this thing is not only kind of flimsy looking, but this thing was creaking like crazy as I was trying to figure out how to get the head off. And there's the little hole spot there that just pops back onto there. So you got to be extremely careful popping that off and do like the method of get your fingers everywhere, get them on there, and try to disperse the weight as much as possible. And once you pop in 2 batteries up in there, this is an interesting looking switch. Never seen one like this, but you push up like that. It doesn't feel like you're doing anything, but it does click, and it turns the lights on the helmet. And to get this thing back in, you want to feed your thumb through there so that you're putting pressure on the bottom there. Feed the helmet on, and there we go. And there's a light in the chest as well. That's equally as important as the eye lights. Chest light, eye lights are synonymous with IronMan for me. This one is a bit of an ordeal to get into. You've got these little switches that release these little chest pieces that open that up, and then these release and loosen and swing down a little bit. And then you got to push him all the way up. This whole piece right here comes out. There are a lot of steps you have to go through in order to unscrew the cover in there and get a couple of batteries in there. And you have to do everything in the proper sequence. If you forget one step, you got to start all the way from the beginning, do it all over again. So that's the one really tedious part about this whole guy, is installing the batteries. But luckily, that can be activated just by pushing it. I figured out a way to make the actual light the push button for it. And a look at him in the dark with the chest light and the eyes lit up. Unfortunately, you can't actually fit a figure in here. The way it's made is that you can only pop off the torso of IronMan Mark 43. So that figure by ThreeZero, it actually detaches from his legs and he just becomes this upper body cut off at the elbows. And that just gets plugged right into there. So it would have been nice to be able to put an actual figure, any figure in there. But again, it's just for aesthetic purposes. They were going for a more screen accurate look instead of some toy with a gimmick, and being able to actually fit a figure in there would have completely changed how these legs look, because they'd have to feed in, the leg of the figure would have to feed in through there, probably all the way down to the knee joints. An incredible amount of detail in here. There's a bunch of panels that these latches right here undo, so you can drop that. Same on the other side. Beautiful paint job on it. It's the exact same kind of metallic red that the original Iron Man, or was it Mark? I don't remember. From the first Iron Man movie when he decides to give it a paint job. Gorgeous sheen on it. This is, to me, Hot Toys level of paint job. Really, really beautiful. And it feels a little like Hot Toys in the sense of being extremely detailed, and you want to be really careful with it. I'm kind of clumsying my way through this, and I haven't broken it yet, so that's a good sign. And really nice thing about this toy is that even if you don't want to drop the extra dough for that Iron Man torso that plugs into there, look at all the stuff that moves here. It's incredible. You don't need a figure inside. You can just seal him back up, and you can't tell if someone's in there or not. And how about a look at articulation? This is a little scary. Arms. Yep, move great. Want to be careful with these giant shoulder pads while you're moving the arms around. That works great. Look at that. Doesn't get in his own way. Just like that Optimus Prime by ThreeZero looked at recently. These elbow pads are on this nice little hinge, which gives him a little bit of shrug shoulder movement. That's a nice little feature there, so you can move these out of the way. The elbows look giant and bulky, and they feel like they might just stop there, but they actually keep going. Look at that. That is amazing. Right up to the point of the armor pieces touching each other. That is really, really impressive for such a bulky bot. Something out of real steel. And the head articulation can be, look, I don't know if you want to be risking this if you've got this guy, but there you go. He can go a full 360. He's got some ab crunch, plenty of ab crunch actually, and legs. Look at that bicep swivel. Do legs move? I noticed something moving in here. This panel right here. These panels move out of the way on his sides, on his hips, to allow for some leg movement. Oh man, that's awesome. Reminds me of RoboCop pistons. Look how that moves when you move the leg. That is so cool. That's amazing. Don't want to try to move his legs and his knees too much. It's just so bulky. I know there's not going to be much range, but that is incredible. Look at how that works. Beautifully designed. Yeah, bravo. Nicely done. There's some more lights in the knees. They don't light up though. And the feet. ThreeZero has really impressed me with the design of these moving robotic panels and parts. There's quite a few similarities to the Optimus Prime they recently did. And I mean, this is just part of the design that they are basing it off of, but for the actual figure, it really helps stop him from falling backwards. According to the instructions, there's tons of movement. That does look like a side-to-side pivot, tilt. You can even get him to do the splits if you want. Move these panels out of the way sufficiently. I don't want to risk that. He's got a taser weapon in each hand, and the way you deploy those is to pull these down like so, flip them up, out of the way, which reveals this hardware right here, which you can just kind of get your finger under there and pull it out to reveal some details. Pinch there and pull. We've got some tasers to try to subdue the Incredible Hulk. And it comes with a couple of different hands. It's got the fists. These look like they're at-rest hands. And then these are blasting hands. And this is an important part. See how hard it is or easy it is to swap these hands. Giant ball joints. It takes a little bit of force in order to get the new one on. I find twisting helps a little bit. Let's try the other one too. Let's give them double Iron Man blasting hands. Everything moves on this guy. Check this out. I'm just discovering things as I go, but it moves as part of the elbow clearance, kind of like how Optimus had parts that moved out of his way. ThreeZero really excels at robotic figures and not having them be hindered by their own bulky armor. So if you pop both of those hands on, you get the traditional double blast from the palms Iron Man pose. And a couple of size comparisons. Here he is with Marvel Legends Wolverine, Hugh Jackman movie version. Yeah, he's a big boy. So that's an official Marvel Legends, which I don't have too many of. I have a couple of Marvel Select figures, which look like they're just a little bit taller than Marvel Legends. So that's the HULKBUSTER with the regular Iron Man. It's a nice paint job on the Select Iron Man. It's a nicer paint job on the ThreeZero. It's even more gleaming and metallic looking. That looks cool, the two of them, one in front of the other. But the one that I am most interested to see him displayed with is an Incredible Hulk, and I don't have Marvel Legends Incredible Hulk, but I do have this Marvel Select Incredible Hulk, which I'm guessing is a little bit bigger than the Marvel Legends. This still looks really, really impressive. If you wanted to display this HULKBUSTER with any 1/12 or even a little bit bigger size figure, holy smokes.
Oh, Lord!
That definitely looks like an Iron Man suit that could bust a Hulk. The nice thing about the at-rest hands, I'm noticing if you wanted to give him like a catching a punch type of pose, the blasting hands don't seem to be really ideal for that, but if we pop on one of the at-rest hands, it kind of wraps around the Hulk's fist a little bit better, just giving him the look of subduing the Incredible Hulk, which is what HULKBUSTER is supposed to do. Or you can turn the tables on the Hulk and have the HULKBUSTER smash Hulk. Give him a shot right to the side of the head. I think that's where the real magic of this figure is. It's a beautiful display piece. Not so much, for me, a toy to be played around with. But the real fun is in posing him with an Incredible Hulk. And just finally having a figure that'll beat up your Hulk, because the Hulk is the guy that smashes and pounds everybody. It's pretty cool to finally have something that can give the Incredible Hulk a thumping. And he can toss this Hulk around one-handed like a pizza pie. And since it's Yo Joe June, here he is with a couple of G.I. Joe 6-inch classified figures to really put his scale into perspective. And if you're one of the people that thinks that Mattel's Ultimate Sarge is too big to fit in with classified, well, just stick him next to the HULKBUSTER, and suddenly this gigantic Sarge looks a little more like Lord Littlebrook. That is ThreeZero's HULKBUSTER 1/12 scale figure. It's pricey, but like ThreeZero's other items, it seems like you get a lot of bang for your buck. Like I mentioned earlier, it's $250 to get the upgrade arm for a 12-inch Hot Toys HULKBUSTER, or, albeit for a smaller scale, you can get an entire HULKBUSTER with extra hands, with some light-up gimmicks, and beefy. Really, really, really hefty. That's one of the heftiest figures I've ever seen. Quite honestly, for his size, he shouldn't be this heavy. But he is just so incredibly dense for being just under 12 inches. Feel free to leave an iron thought in the comment spot, and to join the tribe, subscribe. Nerdmas Day.